Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that the life you're living isn't the life you imagined. The dreams you once held feel distant, the habits you rely on feel hollow, and the person staring back at you in the mirror isn't the person you hoped to become. Maybe it's not anyone else's fault, maybe the world hasn't betrayed you, but somehow, somewhere along the way, you lost the blueprint for the life you deserve. That feeling of being stuck, of watching opportunities pass while feeling powerless, is not the end of your story. It's the beginning. Because here's the truth, rebuilding yourself is always possible. It doesn't matter where you've been, how many mistakes you've made, or how heavy the weight of past failures feels. Every day you are given a choice to continue as you are, or to rise, to take control, and to shape the life you've always wanted. Rebuilding is not just about changing circumstances, it's about transforming yourself from the inside out. It starts with awareness, responsibility, vision learning, discipline, and resilience. Tonight, let's explore how you can take those first steps, ignite that spark, and start the journey of becoming the person you were meant to be. Self-awareness is the foundation upon which every meaningful change in life is built. To rebuild yourself, you must first know who you truly are, beyond the roles you play, the masks you wear, and the labels that others have placed on you. Most people drift through life without ever stopping to look inward. They react to circumstances, follow the crowd, and let external events dictate their emotions and decisions. Yet, true transformation begins when you pause and ask yourself the essential questions: who am I? What do I value? Where am I going? What patterns in my life are serving me and which are holding me back? Answering these questions requires honesty, courage, and a willingness to face parts of yourself that are uncomfortable or even painful. Self-awareness is not about finding excuses or justifying failures. It is about facing reality without distortion. Many people avoid this process because it forces them to confront truths they'd rather ignore: the missed opportunities, the bad habits, the moments of weakness, and the ways in which they have settled for less than they are capable of. But avoiding these truths does not prevent them from shaping your life. In fact, ignoring them allows these patterns to silently influence your future. When you cultivate self-awareness, you bring these hidden forces into the light. You see not only what has been holding you back, but also the unique gifts and strengths you possess that can propel you forward. This awareness requires reflection and observation. It is about noticing how you react to challenges, how you respond to stress, how you handle criticism, and how consistent you are in pursuing what matters most. It also involves understanding your emotions, recognizing when fear, anger, or self-doubt is influencing your decisions. The power of self-awareness lies in this ability to step back and observe yourself as though you are an impartial witness. When you can see yourself clearly, without judgment or defensiveness, you gain control over the direction of your life. You are no longer merely a passenger riding along with circumstances. You become the pilot who can chart a course toward meaningful change. Self-awareness also involves understanding your values and priorities. Too many people allow external pressures to define success, whether it is money, status, or the approval of others. But when you know what truly matters to you, you begin to make choices that align with your authentic self. Every decision, every habit, every relationship can be evaluated through the lens of this clarity. And when your daily actions align with your deepest values, rebuilding yourself becomes not a struggle but a natural expression of who you are meant to be. Another essential aspect of self-awareness is recognizing your strengths and weaknesses with honesty and balance. It is easy to either overestimate your abilities or be overly critical of yourself. Both extremes are dangerous because they distort reality. True self-awareness means acknowledging where you excel, celebrating your wins, and using your strengths strategically. At the same time, it requires humility to recognize areas that need improvement and courage to take responsibility for developing them. It is this balance that allows you to build a foundation strong enough to sustain lasting change. Finally, self-awareness is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. Life is constantly evolving, and so are you. Each new challenge, each setback, and each success offers feedback if you are willing to observe and learn. The more you cultivate self-awareness, the more you can detect when old habits resurface, when your choices drift off course, and when you are being pulled away from the life you aspire to lead. With self-awareness, rebuilding yourself becomes a deliberate, conscious process rather than a series of reactive, impulsive moves. In the end, self-awareness is the compass for personal transformation. Without it, efforts to change are like wandering in the dark, guided only by hope and luck. With it, every step you take is informed, purposeful, and aligned with your true self. To rebuild yourself, you must first illuminate the reality of who you are, confront it with honesty, and use it as a springboard for the person you have the potential to become. It is in this deep understanding of yourself that the journey of rebuilding begins. Powerful and unstoppable. Responsibility is the cornerstone of true personal growth and the decisive factor in rebuilding yourself. It is the understanding that your life is the product of your choices, actions, and mindset. Many people drift through life blaming circumstances, other people, or the environment for their failures and setbacks. They tell themselves that life is unfair, that opportunities never came their way, or that someone else is to blame for their lack of progress. Yet, blaming others is a form of surrender. It relinquishes your power to create change. Taking responsibility, on the other hand, is about reclaiming that power. It is the realization that while you cannot control every external event, you can always control your response. Every decision you make, no matter how small, either builds you up or tears you down, and acknowledging this is the first step toward transformation. Responsibility begins with a clear-eyed look at your life. It demands honesty, not only with yourself but with the world around you. You must confront the uncomfortable truths, the mistakes you made, the times you allowed fear to dominate, the moments you failed to act when action was necessary. This process is not about self-punishment. It is about clarity and ownership. When you accept full responsibility for where you are, you stop being a victim of circumstance and become the architect of your future. You realize that the only thing standing between you and the life you desire is the action you take today, the decisions you make consistently, and the commitment to follow through despite obstacles. Taking responsibility also means owning your thoughts and emotions. Many people live in a state of reaction, letting anger, fear, or resentment dictate their behavior. They allow external triggers to control their mood, decisions, and interactions with others. Responsibility requires stepping back and recognizing that while you may not control what happens to you, you always control how you respond. This shift is transformative. It changes the narrative from life happens to me to life happens and I choose how to respond. In this space of choice lies freedom and empowerment. Responsibility is intimately tied to your goals and aspirations. If you are serious about rebuilding yourself, you must accept that success and fulfillment are not handed out, they are earned. It is easy to admire those who achieve greatness, but it is far more important to imitate the mindset behind their accomplishments. Those who succeed do not wait for perfect conditions or complain about obstacles. They take deliberate, consistent action and hold themselves accountable for results. They understand that every small effort, every disciplined habit, and every moment of persistence is a personal responsibility. When you internalize this principle, procrastination loses its power. Excuses become irrelevant, and excuses are replaced with solutions. Furthermore, responsibility is about learning from failure rather than fearing it. When you accept responsibility, you acknowledge that mistakes are not signs of defeat, but opportunities for growth. Each failure carries a lesson if you are willing to examine it objectively. Rather than blaming the situation or others for setbacks, you analyze what went wrong, identify your role, and adjust your strategy. This mindset transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Rebuilding yourself becomes a series of conscious corrections rather than random attempts, and progress, no matter how slow, is inevitable. Responsibility also extends to your influence on others. Every interaction, every relationship, and every collaboration carries weight. By taking responsibility for your words, actions, and energy, you contribute positively to your environment and set an example of integrity and accountability. People are drawn to those who own their life, who are consistent, and who face challenges head-on rather than avoiding them. In this way, personal responsibility is both an internal discipline and a social magnet, amplifying your growth and creating opportunities that align with your vision. Ultimately, embracing responsibility requires courage and commitment. It is not easy to admit that you are accountable for your life, especially when the truth is uncomfortable. Yet, this is precisely where transformation begins. Every time you make a conscious choice to act rather than react, to correct rather than blame, and to own rather than deny, you rebuild yourself from the inside out. Life may throw challenges, setbacks, and disappointments, but when responsibility becomes your guiding principle, you remain steadfast, empowered, and unstoppable. Responsibility is the key that turns potential into reality. It liberates you from excuses, empowers you to take decisive action, and forms the foundation for lasting change. By fully embracing it, you acknowledge that your life is yours to shape, your destiny is yours to claim, And your future is the product of the choices you make today. It is in this conscious ownership of your life that the true rebuilding begins. Vision and goals are the compass and map for rebuilding yourself. Without a clear vision, life can feel like wandering through a fog with no direction, no purpose, and no sense of destination. Many people go through the motions, allowing each day to dictate their actions rather than taking intentional steps toward the life they desire. A vision gives clarity. It is a picture of the person you want to become, the life you want to live, and the legacy you wish to leave behind. Without this picture, even the best efforts can scatter in different directions, leaving progress minimal and fulfillment elusive. When you set a vision, you define the standards for your life and create a benchmark against which you measure every decision, every habit, and every opportunity. It becomes the guiding star that keeps you moving forward, even when the path is difficult or uncertain. Goals are the actionable steps that transform vision into reality. Vision alone is inspiring, but without goals, it remains a dream. Goals break the vision into tangible milestones, allowing you to see progress and maintain momentum. They are not arbitrary tasks, but carefully chosen markers that align with your ultimate purpose. Many people set goals without reflection, following trends or imitating others, but this rarely leads to fulfillment. True goals stem from a deep understanding of yourself, your values, and your aspirations. They are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, ensuring that each action you take brings you closer to your vision. Goals give direction, focus, and energy to your efforts, preventing the drift that comes from reacting to circumstances rather than leading your life intentionally. Creating a vision also involves imagination and courage. It requires thinking beyond current limitations, societal expectations, and self-imposed boundaries. Many people underestimate their potential because they limit themselves to what feels safe or familiar. To rebuild yourself, you must dare to imagine a life that stretches you, challenges you, and excites you. This vision should not be a vague wish. It must be vivid, detailed, and compelling. When the vision is strong enough, it generates motivation even in moments of doubt or struggle. It becomes a source of inspiration that reminds you why every effort, every sacrifice, and every disciplined action matters. Goals also teach discipline and patience. Transformation does not happen overnight, and ambitious visions require sustained effort over time. Each goal acts as a step on the ladder of growth, creating momentum through small, consistent actions. Often, the process of working toward goals reveals weaknesses, gaps in knowledge, or habits that need to change. This feedback is invaluable because it allows you to adjust your approach, learn from setbacks, and strengthen your resolve. Goals, therefore, are not only measures of progress, but tools for self-discovery, teaching you perseverance, resilience, and the value of delayed gratification. Another essential aspect of vision and goals is alignment. Your goals should reflect your deepest values and authentic desires rather than what others expect of you. Misaligned goals can create frustration, burnout, and a sense of emptiness even if achieved. When your vision resonates with your core values, every step you take becomes meaningful. Every sacrifice feels worthwhile, and every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow rather than an obstacle to endure. Alignment ensures that the rebuilding process is not just about external success, but about becoming the person you truly aspire to be. Vision and goals also cultivate focus. Life is full of distractions, opportunities that pull in different directions, and demands that compete for your attention. A clear vision and well-defined goals act as filters, helping you decide where to invest your energy and what to ignore. They make it easier to say no to things that do not serve your purpose, preserving your time, energy, and resources for the actions that truly matter. In this way, vision and goals create clarity, reduce wasted effort, and accelerate progress. Ultimately, vision and goals are the bridge between who you are today and who you can become tomorrow. They provide clarity, purpose, and motivation while guiding your actions and decisions. Vision inspires, goals direct, and together they create a roadmap for rebuilding yourself. Without them, effort can be scattered, growth can be slow, and fulfillment can remain out of reach. With them, every step becomes intentional, every challenge becomes manageable, and every day brings you closer to the life you envision. Rebuilding yourself begins with seeing the possibilities, believing in your potential, and setting goals that transform that belief into reality. Learning and growth are the engines that drive the process of rebuilding yourself. Life is not static, and neither should you be. Many people believe that they are limited by their current knowledge, skills, or circumstances, but this is a limiting belief that keeps them stuck. The truth is that anyone can grow, evolve, and reinvent themselves if they commit to continuous learning and self-improvement. Growth does not happen by chance. It happens through conscious effort, curiosity, and the willingness to step beyond comfort zones. Every experience, every challenge, and every interaction carries a lesson if you are open to seeing it. The person who rebuilds themselves is always a student of life, observing, reflecting, and integrating lessons into their actions. Learning begins with humility, the acknowledgement that no matter how much you know, there is always more to discover. Pride and ego are the enemies of growth because they create the illusion that you are already complete or that you have all the answers. In contrast, humility opens the door to new ideas, new perspectives, and new strategies for improvement. It allows you to seek guidance from mentors, learn from the successes and failures of others, and accept feedback without defensiveness. By embracing a mindset of continuous learning, you transform every situation into an opportunity to expand your knowledge, refine your skills, and strengthen your character. Growth is not only about acquiring information, it is about applying what you learn in practical ways that improve your life. Knowledge without action is like a seed that never takes root. The real power of learning is realized when it changes your behavior, sharpens your decision-making, and enhances your ability to handle challenges. Whether it is learning a new skill, developing emotional intelligence, improving communication, or expanding your understanding of the world, each step forward creates momentum. Growth is a cumulative process where small improvements compound over time into significant transformation. Those who commit to learning and growth understand that mastery is not achieved overnight, but through persistent effort, experimentation, and reflection. Another crucial aspect of learning and growth is adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and circumstances often change faster than we expect. The ability to learn quickly, adjust strategies, and embrace new information is what separates those who stagnate from those who thrive. Rebuilding yourself requires flexibility and the courage to revise your approach when necessary. Growth teaches resilience because it shows you that setbacks are not permanent failures, but opportunities to refine your methods, expand your understanding, and emerge stronger. Each challenge becomes a teacher, and each obstacle becomes a stepping stone toward the person you aspire to be. Growth also requires discipline. It is easy to be inspired for a moment, to read a book or attend a seminar, but true transformation comes from consistent daily effort. Habits of learning, reading, reflecting, practicing, seeking feedback, and applying knowledge create a rhythm that fuels continuous improvement. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to the larger process of rebuilding yourself. By committing to daily learning, you gradually replace old limitations with new capabilities, old fears with confidence, and old patterns with productive habits. Additionally, learning and growth are deeply tied to self-awareness and responsibility. As you become more aware of your strengths, weaknesses, and patterns, you can identify the areas that need development. Responsibility motivates you to act on that awareness, turning insight into tangible progress. Without growth, rebuilding yourself would be like renovating a house without replacing outdated structures. The transformation would be superficial and unsustainable. Learning equips you with the tools, strategies, and mindset necessary to rebuild a life that is resilient, purposeful, and aligned with your vision. Ultimately, learning and growth are not optional. They are essential for anyone serious about transformation. The world evolves, challenges arise, and opportunities emerge for those prepared to seize them. By committing to continuous learning, applying knowledge consistently, and remaining adaptable in the face of change, you cultivate the skills, wisdom, and resilience necessary to rebuild yourself. Growth turns potential into capability, challenges into lessons, and dreams into achievable realities. The process may be demanding, but every effort invested in learning and self-improvement compounds into a life that is stronger, more capable, and more fulfilling than you could have imagined. Discipline and habits are the scaffolding of personal transformation. To rebuild yourself, you cannot rely solely on motivation or inspiration because these are fleeting and unreliable. Motivation can ignite a spark, but it cannot sustain the consistent effort required to create lasting change. Discipline, on the other hand, provides structure and consistency, ensuring that progress continues even when enthusiasm fades. Habits are the building blocks of this discipline. They are the repeated actions, the small decisions made daily, that compound over time to shape the person you become. Every thought, action, and routine contributes to either your growth or your stagnation, and discipline allows you to align these actions with your vision and goals. The first step in cultivating discipline is understanding that it is a skill, not a trait reserved for a select few. Discipline is developed through practice and repetition, not through sheer willpower alone. It requires commitment to a system, not just occasional bursts of effort. Many people fail in their pursuit of transformation because they treat change as a temporary project rather than a lifestyle. They attempt grand gestures or dramatic overhauls only to burn out quickly. Real transformation is built on consistent, incremental actions, small daily victories that gradually accumulate into substantial change. This is where habits become critical, as they automate behavior and reduce the mental effort required to stay disciplined. When your positive actions become habitual, they operate almost effortlessly, freeing your energy for higher-level growth and creative thinking. Habits also serve as the foundation for character. The choices you make consistently, even when no one is watching, define who you are. Rebuilding yourself is not just about external success. It is about becoming a person of integrity, reliability, and strength. Discipline ensures that you act in alignment with your values, even in the face of temptation or distraction. Habits cement these choices into patterns that are almost instinctive. By designing your environment and routines intentionally, you make it easier to repeat the behaviors that support your vision while minimizing those that undermine it. This is the power of discipline. It transforms conscious effort into automatic progress, allowing you to move steadily toward your goals without relying solely on fleeting motivation. Another important aspect of discipline is delayed gratification. Many people struggle with instant rewards, choosing comfort or pleasure over long-term growth. Rebuilding yourself requires the ability to prioritize what is necessary over what is easy. Discipline trains you to resist impulses that distract from your vision and to stay committed to actions that produce meaningful results over time. Each time you choose persistence over avoidance, patience over impulsivity, or hard work over convenience, you reinforce a pattern of self-control that strengthens your ability to achieve larger goals. Habits of discipline create a compounding effect, where small, consistent actions generate exponential growth in capability, confidence, and achievement. Discipline is also closely tied to accountability. Without holding yourself responsible for your actions, it is easy to slip into complacency or rationalize poor choices. Rebuilding yourself requires rigorous honesty and the willingness to track your progress, adjust your routines, and confront areas where your discipline is lacking. Habits form the framework for this accountability by making progress measurable and visible. When you can see the cumulative effect of your consistent effort, it reinforces your commitment and fuels further action. In this way, discipline and habits create a self-reinforcing cycle of growth that propels you toward the person you aspire to be. Finally, the development of discipline and habits is an ongoing process. Life presents new challenges, distractions, and demands that can disrupt even the strongest routines. The key is resilience, the ability to recommit, readjust, and continue the practice of disciplined action despite setbacks or interruptions. This persistence strengthens character and builds confidence, demonstrating that you are capable of sustaining meaningful change. Over time, disciplined habits become a defining feature of your identity, shaping your choices, influencing your environment, and creating momentum that carries you forward even when circumstances are difficult. In essence, discipline and habits are the practical mechanics of rebuilding yourself. They transform intention into action, dreams into measurable progress, and scattered effort into consistent momentum. Motivation may light the fire, but discipline ensures that the fire continues to burn, growing brighter with each passing day. By committing to disciplined action, creating intentional habits, and embracing delayed gratification, you construct a life of purpose, resilience, and achievement. This steady, deliberate practice is what allows transformation to move from a desire in your mind to a reality in your life, solid and enduring. Resilience and patience are the quiet forces that carry you through the process of rebuilding yourself. Change, transformation, and growth are rarely linear. Life will test your resolve, challenge your beliefs, and present obstacles that seem insurmountable. Without resilience, these challenges can derail progress, leaving you frustrated, discouraged, or tempted to give up. Without patience, the natural pace of growth can feel unbearably slow, making even small setbacks appear catastrophic. Together, resilience and patience create the internal strength to endure hardships, maintain focus, and keep moving forward even when results are not immediate. They are the qualities that separate those who rebuild themselves successfully from those who abandon the process in the face of difficulty. Resilience begins with mindset. It is the ability to recover from failure, adapt to change, and persist despite adversity. Life is unpredictable, and even the best plans can be disrupted by circumstances beyond your control. Resilient individuals do not see setbacks as the end of the road, but as temporary detours, opportunities to learn, and moments to strengthen character. They understand that challenges are not personal attacks, but natural aspects of life that test commitment and teach lessons. By reframing obstacles as opportunities rather than threats, resilience becomes a skill that can be cultivated, practiced, and applied to every area of life. Resilience also requires self-awareness and emotional control. Difficult experiences often trigger fear, doubt, or anger, which can cloud judgment and paralyze action. Those who are resilient have developed the capacity to recognize these emotions without being controlled by them. They respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, using challenges as information to guide smarter decisions. This emotional regulation is essential because it allows you to maintain momentum even when external conditions are challenging. In the process of rebuilding yourself, setbacks are inevitable, but resilience ensures that they are temporary interruptions rather than permanent barriers. Patience, on the other hand, is the companion of resilience. Transformation is rarely instantaneous, and meaningful change often requires sustained effort over months or even years. It is easy to become frustrated when results do not appear quickly, to compare yourself to others, or to feel that your efforts are wasted. Patience teaches you to trust the process, to understand that growth is cumulative, and that consistent, disciplined actions will eventually produce the desired outcome. Patience allows you to stay committed to your vision, even when progress is slow or imperceptible, and prevents the impulsive decisions that can undermine long-term success. Resilience and patience are intertwined in the journey of rebuilding. Resilience gives you the strength to face difficulties and setbacks without giving up, while patience provides the wisdom to wait for results without losing faith. Together, they create a steady rhythm of effort, reflection, and perseverance that sustains you through the inevitable ups and downs of personal transformation. They enable you to see failure not as defeat but as feedback, and to maintain a long-term perspective that values progress over instant gratification. Another essential aspect of resilience is adaptability. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, and rebuilding yourself requires the flexibility to adjust strategies, learn from experiences, and embrace change. Resilient individuals are not rigid. They respond to challenges creatively, finding alternative paths when obstacles block the way. This adaptability, combined with patience, allows you to continue moving forward without being derailed by unexpected circumstances. You learn to embrace uncertainty as part of the growth process rather than resist it, and this mindset dramatically increases your capacity to achieve meaningful transformation. Resilience and patience also cultivate confidence and self-trust. Each time you overcome a challenge, recover from a setback, or persist through difficulty, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of handling whatever life presents. This internal assurance strengthens your ability to take risks, pursue ambitious goals, and rebuild your life on your own terms. Over time, these qualities become deeply ingrained, forming the foundation of a character that is steadfast, unwavering, and capable of achieving extraordinary results. Ultimately, resilience and patience are not optional. They are essential companions on the journey of rebuilding yourself. They allow you to face challenges without fear, endure delays without frustration, and continue forward when the path seems uncertain. By cultivating these qualities, you build an inner strength that sustains every effort, fuels perseverance, and transforms obstacles into opportunities. Life will test your resolve, but with resilience and patience, you remain steadfast, moving steadily toward the person you aspire to become, capable of overcoming any difficulty and achieving lasting, meaningful change. As we come to the end of this journey together, remember this: rebuilding yourself is not about perfection, nor is it about rushing to a destination. It's about making a conscious choice every single day to grow, to take responsibility, to embrace learning, and to cultivate habits that serve your highest vision. Life will test you, it will challenge you, and it will push you to your limits. But within each of those moments lies the opportunity to rise stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. The path of rebuilding yourself is a journey, and every step you take matters. No effort is too small, no progress is insignificant, and no dream is unreachable when you commit to becoming the best version of yourself. Trust in your vision, remain disciplined, and have the patience to see your efforts blossom over time. I wish you the courage to take that first step, the resilience to keep moving when the road gets tough, and the unwavering belief that you are capable of incredible transformation. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for allowing me to share these thoughts with you today.